want to feel, I'm not saying all of us, like ordinarily feels intimidated by, like successful women. I'm talking about men now. Not, like I said, it's not all of us, because me, I know they get intimidated by anybody per se. Here you get, we even pretty much like even love you more if you are a successful woman. But there are those, and that personality, this guy, this supposed senator representing the people of Ebonyi, North, I heard, right? And others like himself. When you look at the way they talk, speaks, right, at the opposite gender, if they are not feeling like, this black Jesus, right, feeling like they are protective of them, I'm here to be protective of you, okay? So, well, if you want me to probably play with your bum as well, I don't mind, if that's just going to be a compensation. Remember, there are so many men here who are likely going to want to try something with you, but I can protect you. That personality, that feeling, especially if you now have I think they do have it, yeah? It's my own observation, okay? And therefore, if they see any woman that talks back at them, I'm talking, you are talking. They don't care if you are a married woman. They immediately have that urge of teaching you a lesson. You see they will slap another man's wife. They will say it's because of the way she was talking to me. She was talking to me she was disrespecting me. That's why I slapped her. You understand what I'm saying, right? It is one bad attitude. There are a lot of people who have this attitude don't even know is a bad one. And it comes from the place of weakness. Weak men that pretty much believes their titles, money, right, gives them edge, in everything, including with women, including with just anybody. I've got title, I'm a senator. I've got money, right? And then I know those who arrest and keep people away. So, do you know who you are talking to? Is that you that is talking to me like that? I'll teach you a lesson, that kind of a thing. But he actually said it was what really caused the argument. He put that in this short clip.
How would you shout down a woman? How would you shout down a distinguished member of the society, Dr. Ezekwesili, even at our age? Why?
Well, it is an action that brings up a reaction. And you'll hear from me first before you make such a erroneous conclusion. It's erroneous on your own side. Oh. And I'm here to give you
erroneous that she's a distinguished person.
And I'm a city senator.
Yeah, I made that.
I'm a city senator.
So I'm wondering.
So listen to the action that brought the reaction.
What made you do? And that's the question.
Today we appeared before the Senate Committee on Public Petition. Senator Natasha was invited with her witnesses to come and prove allegation of sexual harassment against the Senate President. I was also invited as a witness to the Senate President to also rebut her falsehood, the false claim of hers. So it started when she was asked to be on oath, because she said she was a witness. He said, no, she can't be on oath. She can't take oath. So as a person, I said, okay, I'm willing to be sworn on oath so I can give my own evidence. I was addressing the presiding officer, the chairman of the committee, and she turned to me and said, will you shut up your mouth? A sitting senator in the Senate, that I should shut up my mouth?
That's what aggravated you?
Yes. And I said, no, ma. Withdraw that statement. He said, will you shut up your mouth? You're a hooligan. I said, you are the hooligan. For a mother like you, a grandmother of your age, a former minister of the Federal Republic, to tell a sitting senator to shut up his mouth and to add that I'm a hooligan, then you are the hooligan. In fact, I went for her to describe her as in fact, let me not use that word again.
No,
but I respect her as a mother.
Yeah, but do you regret the scenario which played out?
How can I regret the scenario? I gave it to her.
So according to him, that is what happened. Okay, so for Obi Ezekwesili to tell him to shut up his mouth, a whole senator in the Senate, what kind of, if not because that she is somebody that I respect, I will have her arrested there, because that's how much power he probably wields. But until Obi, they bring back our girl's grandma. What's happened? You tell us your own side.
Decided that, based on the fact that the petitioner was saying that he wasn't going to go into his main petition until they assured him on the two objections that he had. They said, and that it meant that we were not ready to engage on the matter. And then suddenly also said, oh, by the way, this matter is sub judice because there are two cases in court. They mentioned the case by the wife of the Senate president, and that on the basis of that, they actually really shouldn't. So it was at that time that Dr. Abiola said, then what was the basis of...
Yeah, what's the point of being here, of convening this hearing?
And while all of that was going on, then this senator, whom I will not acknowledge by mentioning his name at all.
Well, his name is Senator Nwaebonyi.
That's okay. But, he then said, well, if they're not serious about giving any testimony, I am here representing the Senate president as a respondent, and that I am prepared to speak because, we can't continue with this. So I said to him, can you please shut up? Because, we were just told that we couldn't speak, and you have been speaking without any form of an equivalent treatment. Said we couldn't speak because we were not ready to go into any conversation without the objections being addressed. So when I said that,
So let me just get this. You said to him to shut his mouth.
Yes.
And that was what provoked the Senate.
he was already provoked.
Right.
He was already provoked because he spoke.
But it went from being a spark of a tinder box into a roaring flame.
Precisely. So he was already provoked by the fact that he felt we were not serious.
Right.
He said, in fact, part of what inflamed it was that the petitioner then said, oh, by the way, it is this senator that made a lot of statements about my senator and in words that were not complimentary. So already he was charged. And so on the basis of that, when I said to him, we're talking, so just, hold your peace.
Yeah.
He fled and then began to release all that he released, showing the kind of level of indecorous personalities that we do have within our public space.
That was quite extraordinary, I have to.
Obi Ezekwesili actually told him to, will you you see the way he said it? She said, will you shut up? It's like, well, probably that's not how she said it, So I want to put the clip back up because I want to judge, and I want to put it before you, the viewers, to also judge, so that, the agenda as it is being pushed, right, is to further expose the what would you call tendencies of those in charge of your National Assembly, to speak out against the supposed number 3 man in Nigeria. So sorry, pardon me, because I'm putting it all together quickly, and then I put it back up for us. I should have left it. I shouldn't have removed it, by the way. All right. I think I found it. Right. Thank you. So Auntie Obi actually told him to shut up. Well, I have the video I played earlier. So I want to rewatch it, see if she actually said, will you please shut up? It doesn't really matter anymore anyway. So Natasha, currently, she's fighting like two battles in one. Two battles in one. The Yeye Bello and gang who want to get rid of her, as well as Akpabiole and team who also want to silence her as forever as possible. The entire system is already working on the side of Akpabiole, no doubt, okay? But with more and more, like women group being interested in this simply means that this is not really going away anytime soon. And mind you, Atifku has also joined the fray. Atifku, in an interview that is expected to be released tomorrow, also called Akpabiole, women abuser, apart from being corrupt. Did Auntie say, shut up, like she described in that video? Watch this again, just a few seconds.
Mr. Thomas, we do that. I don't want to fucking herself. You have to respect yourself. Shut up and get him out. Smell him out. Smell him out. Look like a dog. Look at you. Food at 70. Food at 70.
I mean, she didn't even shout, truly. She didn't shout. She faced him like that and be like, will you shut up? But that thing got into that Nwaebonyi so much that he had to roll out, dish out different abuses. Stink him out. Fool. You fool. Kind of like, man, damn. But Ezekwesili believes that they've had their conclusion. The whole thing is just a charade being put up. They've already had their conclusion on Natasha, and they have the entire script written, and it will be acted out in due time. Listen to her.
Well, they had a destination and wanted to get there. The most successful thing that we were able to do today is to not allow them railroad the petitioner on behalf of Natasha into a kind of organized process that would lead to them saying, we find what you're saying to not match any standard of evidence.
But I mean, they've adjourned till when?
Well, you have to have been there, because what they said is that they cannot touch the matter any further because it has gone to the courts. Now, what has gone to the courts? What they have done is to make Senator Natasha now a defendant on a case filed by somebody she never mentioned in the course of her allegation against the Senate president. So you can see clearly that what the Senate has basically decided to organizationally do is to silence this woman permanently and to dismiss the issue that is so important for our democracy to address as if it were just an unserious matter, which was why they started off by telling us that we don't do unserious
And do
things.
you think they're likely to succeed in that quest,
Well,
that you allege?
I believe that as much as the Senate has grossly violated the Constitution, almost in a habitual kind of way, by simply not respecting that Senate rules are, the Constitution and the laws of the land are higher order than their internal rules. In the United States, they have Senate rules, but the United States Senate does not consider the Senate rules. The rules are rules to guide the way they do their business. There is no way that rules can become superior to the Constitution and the laws. So what we saw was basically a determination to shut us down by saying you are, in fact, they used it, they said exactly that. And it was, it was in a conversation. The person who, there were different degrees of the behavior of the senator, the senator today. There were different degrees of it coming from different senators. There were some other senators that were, very, very professional in the way they responded to our dialogue. But what became very obvious is that the idea that we as a people are so easily swayed by the superior powers of the people that hold the levers of authority in our public institutions.
And people
that needs
who
to end.
Voted in by the people, ostensibly.
Well, I'm glad you used the word ostensibly, because I would be surprised if we did a proper audit of our electoral process and our elections, whether the number of people who would come out clean as having been voted and therefore holding the legitimacy of the citizens is actually significant, as we would hope. But one person whose legitimacy we are not in doubt at all about? It is Senator Natasha. Well, they...
Somebody said that it's because Nwaebonyi was interrupting her. That's why she told him to shut up. And that's exactly what she said as well. Like, we're trying to clear something when they said we couldn't talk. Then you said you wanted to talk. You are here to talk. Like, will you shut up, man? While others are saying that she shouldn't have told a senator to shut up. Anyway, all of that happened. The next story tonight is that of Asari Dokudump and the Olu of Warri. But before we get into that, I want to use this medium to quickly ask you for two things, or maybe three. So the first one is that that you are here and you are still here right now means you probably enjoyed this conversation or this expose or this program, whatever you want to call it. Now check if you have actually subscribed onto Mayegun's Diary Politico, to be sure. Now, if you have, thank you. Now, check again. If you have actually liked and shared this broadcast since you joined, check it again. We currently have over 2,000 of us on YouTube as we speak, and over 100 of us on Facebook presently. But the likes on the broadcast does not reflect that. So can you take a minute? Not even up to a minute. Can you just take 5 seconds and like the broadcast? Thank you. So the last one is just to bring this to your subconsciousness, and that is the ongoing fundraiser I am putting together for my for my studio's upgrade. So far, so good. I have raised £110. That is like 1% of the total target. Now, this particular one is pretty much voluntary, so you don't have to if you don't want to. Or if you are pretty much in support of Mayegun's Diary Politico and what I do, now this could be a chance of supporting what I do in order to do it better. So there is a link in the comment section that you can use if you want to. So thank you very much for that. Now let's go to that story. You've heard about Tompolo and the Tatiata or something. Tompolo is the former militant in Niger Delta, like Asari Dokudump. Now, since Jonathan's time, right? Tatiana, Tatiata, yeah. So, since Jonathan's time, when amnesty was given to the Niger Delta militants, okay, where they submitted their weapons and they were given cash, in replacement, and they continue to pay them salaries. In Niger Delta today, they have tens of thousands of young people, maybe not so young anymore, collecting stipend from the federal government. And this is just to reduce the tension in the Niger Delta against the government installations and what have you, like pipelines and all that. So when Jonathan became president, the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, and Nigerian DSS and all Nigerian security agents probably became incompetent in protecting the national assets in Nigeria. That the government of Nigeria now signed a contract where the militants that are always blowing up the pipelines were given the contract of protecting the same pipelines and we are talking about a multi-billion naira contracts under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, which was one of the reasons why Asari Dokudumb, right, despised Ebele Jonathan. So